rounds of applying, I now have an agent, and since I've had an agent, I've been speaking to a lot of different people about the agent applications thing because it's a very confusing process, and I managed to get an agent without going to drama school and having that kind of support that a drama school would offer. So I thought I'd do a video talking a bit about the process, and if you want to support me or see any future advice or experiences I share, then please do subscribe. And now let's chat about agents. So for context, the first time I applied, I think was when I was around 18 and I just left sixth form, and I didn't have Spotlight, which I think is a big mistake because I think Spotlight makes it so much easier for you to be considered because Spotlight's the website that agents will submit you to castings through. So it's good for you to already be on there, and lots of agents won't really seriously consider you if you're not on there. And to join Spotlight, it's now got even easier. You just need 2 years of part-time training, or it's I think 2 professional credits that you have to have contracts to prove you did, but I got there on the 2 years of part-time training, and I think that's quite good because I don't know, many people might have many different opinions, but I think it's good to have some kind of credits or training behind you before you try and get an agent, so you have that acting experience and knowledge, because I know some people will do like 2 classes of acting ever in their lives and then they'll be like, now I want to do it professionally. So I think it's good to get yourself on Spotlight first. But over the years I have got kind of close to getting agents in certain ways. So there was this class that I was part of for 2 years that I was in the monthly group for, but if I was in the weekly group they would have been my agent, but it's a kind of weekly group that's already formed, so to be able to join it you'd have to wait for someone else who's your casting type to drop out of the group. So it just never really happened that I moved up, but they would still represent me for certain occasional auditions, but it wasn't really properly my agent because I didn't make it into the weekly group. But I think for those 2 years that meant that mentally then it was always in my mind that at any point there's a possibility that I could have got moved up and I could have had then the kind of responsibility, I guess, would you call it, of having an agent. Like I could have moved up and had an agent at any time. There are also a few agencies, mainly that represent younger performers or like performers 21 and under, that audition for you to be part of the agency, and I've heard mixed things about that because some people say that it's a more formal and like verified process if you have an agent meeting before you join an agency, but some agents do auditions, which I guess means that they're then seeing how you would be in the audition room, because you might not have that many credits but you might be like really professional and good to send into audition rooms. So I don't really know enough to give a thought or opinion into that. But there was one agency, it might have even been a few years ago actually, that I then ended up, I think it was during COVID, so they didn't actually do in-person auditions, but I got through a few rounds of like sending in extra forms about myself and then like doing more self-tapes and more self-tapes. I think I got through maybe to like the final round even, and then I found out I didn't get it. But I think what's really interesting is that I actually applied to that agency again more recently, and I didn't get beyond the initial application form. Like they didn't invite me to audition. So I think that taught me something really important to keep in mind during the process of applying to different agencies, because I got through to the final round like probably over a year before I didn't even get invited to audition. And obviously over the course of a year I gained so much more experience, I became a better actor, I became more prepared and even better as an option for agents to take on. Like I've not got worse, but just it's so much about the agency and who else they have and so many other factors that it's not really necessarily all about you. So it's so important in this industry to not really take anything personally. So that's my kind of history and background with agents. But I do think that the 4th round of applying was by far my best round, and I want to go through a few reasons why. So firstly, something that I did was I was looking through my previous emails that I'd sent these agents, and I was like, why am I going to explain the reason why I'm applying to them again? Like, I don't want to be writing something that I've written before. So I decided to actually just reply to the email that I'd sent before, because I'd already made a connection with those agents, and I thought there's no point just saying stuff for the sake of it, and because I kind of said that the first time, and like, I think like, why am I sending another email when I could just reply to the last email? So I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I thought then, like, if they sent me a reply or said anything to me, I can address what they said in their reply in my reply back to them. And then it gives me the opportunity to look really active in the industry, because I can be like, since contacting you, I've done this. So I could say, since contacting you, I've joined Spotlight. Since contacting you, I've filmed this, and here are some scenes that I've done, which I had done. So I had that. I'd booked the job that I mentioned in a previous video, so I could mention that I booked some work. And then I think it's good as well to actually ask them for a chat about representation, because someone read my emails previously during a previous round, and they were like, Lottie, you're not actually asking for anything or telling them why you're getting in touch. But I think there's so much different advice and opinions, and often it's contradicting surrounding how the best way is to apply for agents. And I don't think necessarily the same way might even work for all agents. But I guess I could share some of the advice and approaches in case that helps anyone. So some people just say, I think it was Emma actually told me in the interview I did with her, that you could just write like, I've got some new headshots, would you like a chat? And just keep it really short like that. Some people say to really sell yourself and sell every skill that you have and show that you know how to market yourself. Some people say, on the other hand, it's really good to make it about the agent you're applying to and show you know them really well and you know why they're the best agent for you and the best fit for you. Another thing I've heard a lot of agents saying actually is to just be like honest and be like, I know I don't have that many professional credits, but here's what I have done. So there's different options, because some people won't like it if you make it all about the agency and it feels like fake or forced. And some people alternatively won't like it if you make it all about yourself, and they'll be like, why are you contacting me specifically? But leading on from that, something that was really reinforced to me was the fact that I was hearing so many opinions about different agencies and different people's experiences there, but I got told like they're projecting their experience of an agency and their opinion of an agency onto you. Like, you're a different actor, you're a different casting type, every actor is going to have a different experience with each agent, so you can't take other people's opinions to be fact necessarily. You've got to be able to also go with your gut and make your own decisions, because I was looking at people and being like, oh, they've said this about this agency, and they might have said that about that agency, but I'm also not their casting type, so I would have a completely different experience, or maybe I would find it completely different than how they found it. So I've actually just chatted loads about the emails, but the goal of the emails is to get agents to meet you. And after 4 rounds of applying, I finally got to the stage where agents were willing to meet me. So I talked to people I knew before I went to meet any agents, and what I really learned was the importance of really knowing yourself as an actor, knowing what shows you could see yourself in, knowing what kind of actors are like you, knowing what's going on in the industry at the moment. And I think that's just really important, is understanding what the industry involves, what having an agent involves, what pursuing acting involves, what your casting type is, how to market yourself, so that then they know, oh, I see you as this, you see yourself as this as well, and like that aligns and we can work together. Like, I'm really lucky that at Television Workshop we did loads of classes about our casting type, and we really learned what our place is in the industry and how the industry might see us, so that really helped me. And also what really helped me was being taught by people over the course of like my training who are actively in the industry, and understanding the different casting directors that are out there, the different trends in the industry. Like, for example, there used to be a lot of actor musician shows, now there's not as much anymore. Like, what kind of shows are people making at the moment, what kind of trends are the industry going in. And also I think it's important before you get an agent that you know that you've got like that work-life balance, that you'd be able to attend castings, you'd be able to have the skills and also the ability and availability time-wise to be able to turn around self-tapes within a short amount of time. Like you might have like 24 hours to do a self-tape, learn it. So like developing the skill to be able to do that firstly. Like I could go into agent meetings and say like within the previous month I've done 12 self-tapes and I know I can turn them around fast. And it's good to prepare questions as well that you want to ask. And I think it's good to be able to know as much as you can, but also to feel confident enough. I think maybe it's a bad idea, but I think whatever I'm doing in life, I always want to be someone who doesn't feel ashamed to ask questions, because there's always going to be things that we're not sure about and we don't know. So there's confidence and power in being like, oh, I'm not sure about that at this moment in time. So I think that's also a really good trait that I try to have in life, because I don't want to be just chatting rubbish and saying stuff that I don't really know about or don't really mean. And I wanted to leave it a bit of time before I film this video, because I think now I've been with the agent I have for about a month, but obviously it takes time to like join an agency. Like you have to sign a contract, you have to share with them all your different skills and experiences that might be useful for any castings they might want to put you up for. And also I wanted to wait until I'd actually done a self-tape for the agent. So now I've done those things. It's just really difficult to get an agent, and I think it always will be really difficult to get an agent. You've just got to meet the right agent at the right time. If anyone has any experiences they'd like to share or any questions that they think I might be able to answer, then please leave them in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. All the best with everyone who's searching for an agent. It's so difficult, but like it is possible. The fact that I'm 21, I've not been to drama school, but I have an agent, shows that there is no set path that you necessarily have to follow in order to get an agent. Like, it's just difficult at any point in time to try and get an agent, but I feel lucky to be in the position I'm in. And thank you so much for everyone for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in another video. Thank you, bye!